Good evening, friends. Welcome to the new episode of Career Shifts podcast, where we explore the journeys of people who have successfully navigated significant career shifts. Before we get started, as always, I want to begin with a story. Today, I want to share about RK Laxman. When I was a kid, I loved watching Malgudi Days, a TV series based on RK Narayanan's story, brought to life by the brilliant illustrations of RK Laxman. The show offered a glimpse into simple yet rich lives in the fictional town of Malgudi, with Lakshman's character, the common man, perfectly capturing the everyday struggles and humor of ordinary people in India. His cartoons were sharp, funny, and insightful, earning him the title of Common Man of India. Lakshman's work on Malgudi Days and his daily cartoon strips left a lasting impression on all of us, showing the beauty in the ordinary life of power, of humor, and insight in storytelling. R.K. Lakshman himself had a notable career shift. Originally aspiring to be an artist, he faced rejection from the JJ School of Arts in Mumbai. However, he didn't let this setback deter him. He started his career as an illustrator for local magazines and eventually became a political cartoonist for the Times of India, where he created The Common Man. Lakshman's ability to adapt and pivot in his career is a true testament to the resilience and creativity needed for the successful career shifts. Now, why am I sharing all of this? Because our guest today is none other than RK Laxman of Business, Harjeet Khanduja. Harjeet is an alumnus of IIT Roorkee and INSEAD and now Senior Vice President at Reliance Jio. His career is a fascinating journey from engineering to HR with significant roles at companies like Tata Motors. Harjeet is also an innovator and inventor with 4 patents, which is pretty rare in HR. This shows his unique mix of technical skills and HR expertise. He's written 7 best-selling books and is a popular speaker, having shared his insights at global events like TEDx. He's won many leadership awards, including the one he announced today to all of us on LinkedIn as Global Laureate in HR, highlighting his impact across various industries. Congratulations, Harjeet. So get
Thank you.
ready for an insightful conversation with RK Lakshman of Business, Harjeet Khanduja. Harjeet, welcome to the show. Before we begin, do you have any opening thoughts for our audience?
Thank you. It is good to listen good things about yourself at times. So I did not know whether to get embarrassed or so I thought of enjoying it. Thank you for a wonderful
Sure.
introduction, and mm, it is good to be on your show. We connected earlier also when you told me about the show, and you said why this is important for you and for your audience.
True.
Uh, and I said, this is something which gels with my purpose also, how we can help people who struggle with the questions which we have struggled with. So why not share some of our learnings in the journey? Maybe it will help some people and make life easier for someone. So glad to be on your show.
Thank you so much, Ajit. And you're so right. I mean, I think the last decade has proved that there has been enough and more inventions and disruptions that have caused, um, great progress for all of us in humanity, but also not being able to, a lot of people are not being able to comprehend with what they need to be doing and how they can stay relevant. So if there is any way that we can bring out leaders like yourselves come and share your stories of shifts, career shifts. That's the whole idea and the purpose of this podcast. So thank you for agreeing to join the show. Really appreciate you coming in, and I hope audience sees value in this. So Harjeet, I spoke to you first. I think we were in the same panel sometime in 2020 first in one of the
Hmm.
DEI initiatives, and then 2021 again. And then we spoke sometime last year, I think, and again a couple of weeks ago before the before I was going to announce this to the audience that you're going to be one of the guests. Uh, you have had a very unique career path, if I can call. And I've often said that when you see people at leadership positions in HR, not everyone made the choice from day one to be in HR. They either come into HR by accident or they kind of grow up into taking various roles and then ending up being in HR. Do you want to share to the audience today as to one, what led to those career shifts and any pivotal moments that you want the audience to be aware of?
Sure. First, let me acknowledge Devashish, Vikas Dua, and Sahil
Yes.
Nair. They have been well wishers, and thank you for your comments. Uh, now, uh, talking about my career shifts, I am an engineer by education, an industrial engineer. My first job was in industrial engineering, and the job which I was given was in the assembly line because I joined as a graduate engineer trainee in Tata Motors, and the GT program was such that okay, you are hired as a industrial engineer, but maybe you will do industrial engineering job or maybe you will do some line function job. So my job, uh, first job was on the assembly line, and I thought, okay, this is what life is all about. I go by where life takes me. So I don't believe in planning too much. Uh, it is not that I don't plan. I plan, but I don't go after life के नहीं नहीं मेरे को shift करना है, मेरे को वही करना है. If life tells me कि अच्छा I'm taking you somewhere else, I'm quite flexible with that, and I change my plans. It is like Google
Sure.
Maps. So I was there, and I was looking at ke, what is that I'm doing uh, in the line. And one day something happened. We were three GETs. One of us got hurt, and we went to the medical center. So the doctor asked, "आप लोग क्या करते हो? What do you do?"
Hmm. Hmm.
And we started thinking, what do we do on the line? And the
Okay.
person who got hurt, he said, "हम गाड़ी को धक्का देते हैं." We pushed the vehicles, and we were pushing the vehicles so that line can run faster and everyone was
Sure.
working. So since we were GETs, so we were trying to help. And
Sure.
then I thought of myself like, what is that I am doing? I'm, of course, so many vehicles had to be rolled out from the assembly line, but I am doing dhakka after doing engineering. This is not done. So I sat on the assembly line and I redesigned the assembly line. Used my industrial engineering, and that
Hmm.
project became very popular. Even Mr. Ratan Tata came and he said, "Very good job, Harjeet." And
Hmm.
for a new engineer who is like 6 months in the system, and you never thought or even aspired for that, Mr. Ratan Tata will come and acknowledge you for that. So everyone said, this guy is a good industrial engineer. Why don't we put him in industrial engineering department? So first career shift from production line to industrial engineering department was because of the skill set which I gained through my education.
Hmm.
Then uh, this was basically, and I also accepted that change because I thought I will be able to impact more assembly lines. Right
Hmm.
now, I'm impacting one assembly line, then multiple assembly lines I will be able to improve.
Hmm.
So I accepted that change and moved to productivity services, worked there. When I started working there, I did not know that productivity services was reporting into HR. So it is like HR head
Oh.
will call me and say, there is a campus going on. Would you like to go there?
Yeah.
Jara dekh lo, yeah, this guy is not there. Why don't you take care of campus? Okay, I started going to campuses. Then, why don't you make a program for like incentive program? Uh, why don't you help us with uh, so there were multiple tasks which were coming, and as I said, I go with the life, the way life takes me, wherever life takes me. So in a few years, I actually, it was my hunger for learning that what happens in HR.
Hmm.
I learned HR in that environment, and I was taking care of, means in a few years, I was taking care of HR
Hmm.
as well as industrial engineering. So that was good. And after that, I was given an option that if you want to further grow, would
Hmm.
you want to go into, say, materials department or PPC, which we call production planning and control, or you want to
Hmm.
continue with HR? In that case, you will be going to Mumbai. And I said I want to be in HR. So
Hmm.
I moved to HR. That was a conscious choice. And the purpose behind, the motive behind that was growth, that I want to grow
Hmm.
in this function. I like this job which I am doing, and if I uh, go to Mumbai and work in corporate office, then maybe I will be able to create more impact than what I am
Hmm.
doing right
Hmm.
now. um, After going there, I realized that suddenly I have come in a zone which is kind of a tech zone, and uh, I learned a lot of things. uh,
Hmm.
Learned technology.
Hmm.
So then I thought that technology is very interesting. And then I got a job offer which was like paying me almost double of what I was getting. So I said, tech is tech is superb, and I took that
Hmm.
offer, moved on that side,
Hmm.
did that for a couple of years,
Hmm.
and then I realized no, tech is not going to take you to the level what you want to, where you want to go.
Hmm.
You have to be in HR, and when you are in HR, you will be able to make much more difference. And after
Hmm.
learning tech, maybe your the kind of difference you want to create, uh, that will further improve.
Hmm.
I literally struggled to come back to HR,
My God.
and that was a tough time because once you are touched by technology, no one in HR wants to take you back. So
Hmm.
I came back uh, with
Hmm.
tech, and then requested uh, that if I can be in HR. Again, started learning HR. Uh, um, did lot of um, got assignments which actually helped me in building the strategic HR capability, that how you actually think and make a difference from a long term perspective. So my journey till now have been uh, have been such that it is about learning, growth, and impact. So
Hmm.
that's what I have been doing. These are certain shifts I have made in my career, from engineering to HR, then from HR to tech, and from then tech to back home in HR.
Back home in HR. Lovely. You made some really interesting points, Harjeet, in terms of how the entry to HR happened to you, how you moved cities, how tech happened, and how you came back to HR, and that journey of the challenging re-entry, if I can call. Um, I'm sure a lot of people in tech are gonna now start looking for HR roles. but but a question here is, often a lot of times transitions are not easy. um,
Hmm.
there is a there is an element of confusion. There is an element of imposter syndrome. There is also an element of, I don't think I have enough technical skills and qualifications to do this well. How did you overcome those, inhibitions, or self doubts or what vulnerable moments, if we can call that. How did you overcome those? Like, any thoughts that you want to share?
Look, when I was in my very first job and I was thinking of changing the job,
Hmm.
so there was a senior person who told me, look, if you're looking for a perfect fit, then you will never find a job. There are no
Yeah.
jobs which are made for you.
Hmm.
So if a job is matching, say, 60 to 70%, then you should apply. My
Hmm.
problem was I stayed in Tata Motors for very long, almost
Hmm.
8 years I was there with Tata
Hmm.
Motors. One
Hmm.
is the culture was so good, the work
Hmm.
was so interesting, I was learning, I did not care.
Hmm.
And um, then it was like, okay, I lost that thought. Uh,
Sahil's
you will,
comment is interesting.
yeah, of course, Sahil's comments are always interesting.
Yeah. So I was asking, how did you come? I mean, how did you get through those moments? So you were talking about your mentor,
Hmm.
someone senior who was trying to guide you.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
told me that it is, you will never get a perfect match. And
Hmm.
that's why I was able to make a shift. And there was another person, I still remember his name,
Hmm.
Mayur Dhwaj Singh.
Hmm.
He used to tell me, mm, you should go out and search the word. And thing is, once you're comfortable in a company for a long period, it is very
Yeah.
difficult to make that move.
Sure.
You are kind of thinking, uh, okay, this is a secure place. I know everyone. I know
Hmm.
everything. If I go to a new place, what will happen? Whether things will be okay, not okay. And
Hmm.
he actually motivated me. Look, you have capability, and with your capability and competence, wherever you will go, you will be
Hmm.
able to uh, you will be able to survive. You don't have to think about survival. You will be able
Hmm.
to thrive also.
Hmm.
And that's how I started looking. And when I looked outside, I found that people are ready to pay much more than what you are already getting. I can tell you the feeling the day, the last day of my Tata Motors, I was jittery.
Hmm.
Whether I have made the right decision, whether I have not made the right decision, I should have retired from this company only. So all those things were going on.
Right.
But I'm glad that I made that move at that
Hmm.
point in time, uh, and moved into a new environment. Uh,
Hmm.
it is not that if I would have stayed with Tata Motors, uh, definitely something good would have happened, and I would
Sure.
have grown into a different career path.
Hmm.
But this was something at that point in time was matching with my aspirations, the environment which was created around me because of my friends. So I made that career shift, and look, there is always going to be jitter. There is always going to be some amount of कि कर पाएंगे कि नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Correct.
Um, so I used to listen to a ghazal.
Hmm.
Uh, helped me a lot. It was Jagjeet Singh ghazal. क्यों डरें
हो
कि
जाए.
जिंदगी में क्या होगा,
Huh.
क्यों डरें कि जिंदगी में क्या होगा, कुछ ना होगा तो तजुर्बा होगा.
Wow.
So, and one was that ghazal, that the motivation of people, and self belief which was induced by the friends, that helped me make that uh, career move or the transition.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Mayur, to have motivated Harjeet to do what he did. Otherwise, I don't think we could have been in this show today. So, thank you. And I'm glad that, I mean, you could find the courage and the belief. And you made a very interesting point that your friends um, instilled belief in you. And at times, when we are unsure of things, it's the friends and mentors and coaches who really fuel in that um, josh in you, if I can
Right.
call that. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
um, wonderful. I'm going to take a few comments here. Vikas says, really been looking forward to this conversation. Devashish says, good to see you, Harjeet sir. Sahil, at his best, tuk tuk cha jao guru. Anshuman says, pleased to see two stalwarts in the show. No, Anshuman, it's only one stalwart. I'm always
You are
going to
the only
be
stalwart. I'm
no,
just there
you
on
are
the
the
show.
stalwart. And that's the humor that we are all,
Mm,
sure that we will see. And yeah, very interesting question by our dear friend
mm.
Sahil. If you would like to take this, what's going to be your next career shift if you had to choose one, only one out of Rajya Sabha MP, Tuk Tuk Show on Netflix or Master G in Amritsar?
So let me tell you a story.
Sure.
So whenever a meeting happens, there is a guy who comes in to ask whether you need tea or coffee.
Mhm. Hmm.
So I saw this used to happen, and everyone used to say, "Okay, tea or
Hmm.
coffee, tea or
Huh.
coffee." One
Huh.
day uh, there was a new guy
Huh.
in the meeting, uh,
Huh.
and it was his first time in the meeting room. So everyone said tea, coffee, tea, coffee. He said Coke, and Coke actually came for him. Now that day I learned that you should not pick from the options which are given to you. If
Ask.
you think outside the options which are given to you, maybe
Hmm.
you can get those options. Because if uh, you are playing by the options which are selected by someone else, then you don't know whether you want that or you don't want that.
Wonderful.
So my answer to that is wherever life will take me next, and I am striving ye dil mange more. uh, I am ready to do anything which comes my way, uh, which can help me do more in my life.
Yeah. So, Sahil, I hope you got the answer that you wanted.
No, no, this is not the
Shank.
answer which he wanted.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You would have wanted one out of what he asked.
Hmm.
Shankar says, interesting session. I see a similarity between Prabir Jha and Harjeet. Both started with different backgrounds before entering into HR. Very true. And Prabir was in fact the first guest on the show a month ago. And the Stephen is sharing a comment. Why fear what life may bring? If nothing happens, it will be an experience. I think this is Jagjit Singh's English version.
Yep.
Um, a question from Jayant. Is it okay to shift to marketing from finance accounting background after realizing that this is not your cup of tea? Also, as you don't possess such skills, but you possess inbuilt communication skills, even if the pay is less from your current compensation. Would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Look, frankly speaking, you're working in a current setup. Try to shift in your current setup. That is the best chance you can get.
Hmm.
Uh, you know the people, the shift will be easier, and the
Hmm.
impact on CTC will be lesser.
Hmm.
In case you want to make a shift, uh, then try to make a shift by, like I did that couple of times. I went to education institute, uh, did my learning, and then
Hmm.
came out. So
Hmm.
and I have seen a lot of people who go for education executive education for say a 1 year period, either working or taking a full break, depends upon what your choice is and uh, what your situation is.
Yeah.
You may take that call, uh, do that formal education, build the network, and through that network, you can get introduced to whatever you are doing, means whatever you want to do. If you are working on something which you want to do, chances of you being successful become much higher. Uh,
Correct.
and look, success is not only money. Success is a combination of money, happiness, people around you. So, how you are spending time with your family. Because after a age, you start feeling, Kacha, I have built everything for myself. But what about my future generation?
True.
So, this is a balance. In fact, uh, Gopal and I were discussing. So, he was telling me a story. He said, I wanted to do, say, a management education from an institute, but I looked at the fee and I said, I asked one of my friends, and his friend told him, you want to spend that money on your education or your son?
Yeah.
And look, this is a fine balance, and everyone may think differently. So,
True.
you can make your choice how you want to go about it. Uh, but it is okay to shift from one function to another if that is not giving you happiness. Uh, just look at it from sustainability point of view, whether the money is not so low that you are not able to sustain. So, mm, I believe that's what my point is.
Sure. Sure. Jayant, I hope that gives you some insights to take the right decision for yourself. Think through all the options and do um, what you feel is the best thing for you. Harjeet, next question that I have for you is a slightly different one. You have four patents, which is very rare, um, by all means, if I can say that. One, how did these innovations come about? And was it your engineering background that helped you with this?
Look, frankly speaking, it is not the engineering background.
Hmm.
So let me clarify. Patents don't come with, patents are not about engineering.
Hmm.
So patents actually come with why will somebody grant you a patent?
Sure.
There are three criterias for something to be patented. First is
Sure.
it has to be newness.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
whether you are doing something which is new. And when
Hmm.
I'm saying new, that means you have built something
Hmm.
which was not existing.
Hmm.
It is not about discovering something, it is about inventing something. You have built something which is new, which was not there.
Hmm.
Second
Hmm.
is whatever you have done that was not obvious.
Hmm.
And third thing is that whatever you have done has some utility in the industry, that it can be
Hmm.
utilized.
Hmm.
So if these three things come together,
Hmm.
then you can file a patent. How
Hmm.
I got into this business? One of my friends came from US. He
Hmm.
was working with uh, Meta, and he told me that he has filed some 7 patents, and he is
Oh.
thinking of filing his eighth patent. And then I was very excited about, okay, how do you do that? Means what is this patent business? And so he told me that company gives you money also for filing patent.
Hmm.
And I said, then when we were discussing, I told him about the kind of work we are doing and the kind of
Hmm.
problems we are solving.
Hmm.
So he said, the problems which you have solved,
Hmm.
These problems, why don't you check? Because I think they are patentable. So I went with my first solution to the patent team, and to my surprise, I came to know there is a patent team, and I told them this is what our idea is. So they said this is good, and we showed them this is how we went ahead with the solution. This was our problem. This is the solution we came up with, and no one else in the industry is doing this, and we have saved some 25 crores uh, with this idea. And they said, let us go ahead and file the patent. So they filed the patent. And once you got a hang of it, okay, this is how the whole thing works. Then we filed another patent, then another one. So one of the patent which recently got granted,
Hmm.
uh, it is a very basic thing if you see,
Hmm.
which was non-obvious. Till
Hmm.
now, not even a single
Hmm.
HR software offers a negotiation module in HR.
True that. Very
So
true.
we said this is an opportunity where
Hmm.
a product can be built, and
Hmm.
we asked our tech team to build a product
Hmm.
around this.
Hmm.
That there is no negotiation product in the market, and this is how this product should be built, and this is how this product is going to bring down the negotiation cost and the experience of people, and we built a product around that,
Wonderful.
and hence we got a patent. So it is about understanding things which are there and deciphering what is the problem you are trying to solve, uh,
Hmm.
and whether that problem is obvious, whether the solution which you are giving is obvious, not obvious.
Hmm. Hmm.
And maybe you can also have patent in your name. So word is all about solving problems. It is not the tech
Correct.
background which help us uh, solve that issue. That issue is like, and now everyone can relate कि हाँ negotiation के लिए there is nothing there.
Hmm.
But for a long time, we were also not able to see that this was a
There's
issue.
a yeah. Yeah. True. No, very well said. I think sometimes problems are all around us, and we of course see them as well, but don't really pay attention to it, and in fact probably a lost opportunity for some of us. So what advice would you give to professionals interested in securing patents in whatever area that they are working in, and do you see innovation as a key to maintaining career relevance?
Look, of course. Uh, Look, if you are able to find out things which are not obvious,
Hmm.
you are going to make yourself relevant because you are finding something which no one else has found.
Hmm.
And this becomes a mindset. It is not that you have filed one patent and you are going to stop at one. I couldn't
True.
stop at one.
Yeah.
And I think whosoever gets into that habit wants
Hmm.
to figure out that, okay, if we are solving this problem, one is let's get to a solution, and second is can we make it so unique that no one has thought about it instead
Hmm.
of copying a solution from somewhere else.
Hmm. Hmm.
There is a
Hmm.
story. Uh, so uh, I was talking to my son, and I was arguing with him, if there is a solution, why don't we copy that solution from somewhere else? What is the problem?
Hmm.
We can copy solution from somewhere else. This is a quick fix, and we can solve
Hmm.
the problem. So he said, look, if people would have gone this way,
Hmm.
then we would have never invented airplane,
True.
because we would have seen birds and our airplane would have been with wings which flutter.
Hmm.
we actually went behind that why they are able to fly and we are not,
Mm.
and they understood the principle behind it and they worked on the principle, and that's how we are able to make planes
Mm.
which are bigger and better and are able to carry so many people.
Correct.
So it is the fundamentals. And
Mm.
from patent point of view, look, Wright brothers uh, got the patent for the
Mm.
aircraft.
Mm.
It is not that nobody had the idea of flying. Everyone had the idea of
True.
flying, but they
True.
created the first plane which can
Mm.
fly.
Correct.
Creating that
Mm.
grants you patent.
Mm.
You don't
Mm.
get patent for just ideas.
Mm.
You get patent for something which you are, that's they call newness.
Mm.
Okay, we want to
Mm.
fly. Another, look, the way we think, we
Mm.
become conditioned. I was having
True.
another conversation with my son. So he came to me and he was asking me during the COVID time, when is the economy going to open up? I told him, "Look, it is going to take some time. So at least if we look at say 1945 when the war was happening or whenever the crisis was there on humanity, it generally takes 2 to 3 years, and after three
Mm.
years everything is going to be okay. And that's
Mm.
what I am expecting, that this COVID will also go away. You don't have to
Mm.
worry about it, but it is going to take 2 to 3 years."
Mm.
He said, "Why can't it happen early?" So I said, "Look, whenever you shut down a computer
Mm.
and you have to reboot, it
Mm.
takes some time to reboot, right?" He
Correct.
said, "That is another problem we have to solve." It is the mindset. Like I had, for me, it was a normal thing that if computer is to be rebooted, it takes some time, and he is seeing that this is the problem which is to be solved. If we start thinking in that manner, then our chances of uh, say filing patents or thinking about the solution or taking the humanity forward will be much higher. Look, you become an aspiration
Mm.
when you start doing something which takes uh, the humanity forward.
Mm.
uh, I was hearing Elon Musk
Mm.
when he was talking about that we will colonize Mars. It's, it
Mm.
looks erratic that how will you do that? But then you create a
Mm.
SpaceX like organization and you
Correct.
start space tourism,
Mm.
and suddenly all of that starts looking like reality.
True.
That is taking humanity one step forward. If we are working on the problems
Mm.
which can create a better future for us, and
Mm.
it can be, you don't have to actually send everything to space. You can pick
Mm.
any kind of problem,
Mm.
and you say that I want to solve this problem
Mm.
at whatever level. You build that mindset, and that
Mm.
mindset will help you differentiate yourself. um, and if you are able to differentiate yourself, you will be able to create more career opportunities for you,
Right.
because companies are always looking for talent which can make a difference. Cricket में
True.
you want Dhoni, or you want uh, you want a player who can win the match for you, not just a
True.
player who can do batting or who can do bowling.
Very true. Very true. Um, Wonderfully said, Harjeet. And I think there are some wonderful comments that are coming in as well. So I'm going to take them as well. Jayant says, thank you for the guidance. Devashish has a question. Um, is shifting career from one field of HR to another field of HR itself difficult? Because I can see the transition where organization is only specific to one forte and hire person accordingly. How to jump from zero to one? This has often happened, Harjeet, like where there is over specialization of roles within any fraternity for that matter, not just HR. And
Hmm.
we, from an hiring perspective, look at very specific experiences, backgrounds of individuals. When you started sharing your story, you said you would rather look for people who are 70% there, and you would still go with that match. But that's changed in the recent past. So how do we change that, or what do you see as the world evolving? Are we becoming too, you know, precision focused when it comes to hiring? And if yes, how do people in general position themselves for a role that they had not done in the past?
Gopal, I will still stand by that. Look, if you are hiring,
Hmm.
you would want to hire the best.
Hmm.
Suppose if you are, say, hiring for somebody who can, say, Java coding,
Hmm.
you would want to hire somebody who knows Java. You will
Hmm.
not say, कि, अच्छा ठीक है, you know Flutter, you come and we will teach you Java. You
Hmm.
will not do
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But if there is a person who is very good at Flutter working in your own
Hmm.
organization, you might give opportunity to that person that, okay, do a career shift within Java. If you are ready to learn, we might give you an
I'm ready to
opportunity.
invest. Yeah. Yeah.
But even if you do couple of courses and uh, try with a new organization, it is difficult.
Correct.
So this is a trust issue.
Hmm.
And frankly speaking, looking for a career change in a new job. So that generally happens. Uh,
Hmm.
Either you go through an educational institute where actually organization is going for a generic talent,
Hmm.
or it happens through internal transfers. That way it is
Hmm.
easier.
Hmm.
It is very rare that somebody is hiring for a specific skill
Hmm.
and will hire you just because you are good or you are interested in making your
Hmm.
career in another
Hmm.
direction.
Hmm.
In my own career transitions, when I wanted to shift from tech to HR,
Hmm.
I discussed that I will do tech for you,
Hmm.
but then I would want to get into HR.
Hmm.
So I completed tech and I had to keep reminding, "Ki you said to me that you will do that, you said to me you will do that, you said to me you will do that. Please do
Hmm.
that for me. That is what my interest is." And finally they said,
It
okay,
happened.
stop
Hmm.
bothering us. We are moving you. And
Sure.
look, and I took some time to learn. Once I
Hmm.
learned, and then I shifted in HR.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So people are going to hire you for the competency
Hmm.
which you have or in which you have a proven experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
So thinking this, whosoever says that we will take, because hiring managers are very particular what they
Hmm.
want to hire, and
Hmm.
everyone wants to say hire Aishwarya Rai for uh,
Hmm.
hmm,
True. And that becomes like the best talent becomes a challenge.
hmm,
So I hear you. There's one more question that has come in from Ritu,
hmm,
who asks, do you think a lot more can be done by India Inc. for normalizing career pivots and shifts? Most companies refrain from offering new domains to mid career professionals, and it is tough to try something new at this stage. What's the solution aside from jumping into entrepreneurship? We spoke about this when we
hmm,
spoke a couple of weeks ago, Harjeet. Like a lot of times, people hit a point in their careers as a result of various life stages, um, and their career experiences where because they're unable to pivot into doing something within the organization or outside the organization, they take it to entrepreneurship, whether by choice or by force. Uh, does India Inc. need to be a lot more open to allow career shifts and pivots than what it is today, or are you still seeing that that's not happening as much as it should be?
So, look, if we talk about industry, uh,
Hmm.
especially startups,
Hmm.
startups give you um, this kind of opportunity where if you don't know the 100% of the thing and you have a good idea about what you are capable of.
Correct.
In fact, if you see my career trajectory, I have
Hmm.
moved from a big company to a small company, and then a small company to a big company, and then big company to a small company, and then a small company to a big company.
Right.
I have done that because what happens is when you're working in a big company, you get responsibility, but that responsibility is like a slice.
Hmm.
You never get the holistic understanding. And when you
Hmm.
move to a startup,
Hmm. Hmm.
you get to do things which you can't imagine exist in the function.
Right.
So if you are looking for something, then whatever size of company you are working with, try to move to a smaller size company. The bandwidth or the um, variety of responsibility which you will get, the volume will be lesser, but
Hmm.
variety will be much much higher,
Hmm.
and you will learn a lot. And after some time you will start feeling kya bhi kar liya, this is done
Hmm.
now. Then you start getting a sense that how do I scale this whole thing up.
Hmm.
So after that, when you go to a bigger
Hmm.
company actually appreciates that the kind of diverse experience you have, and they try to leverage it, because then you have one, two, three, four, five things, and those five things are five different sub functions in the organization, in a bigger
True.
organization, and
True.
then you have five choices. But when you're working in a larger organization where one thing you're doing one particular thing, I can tell you in finance organization, in say a large kind of setup, AR itself is divided into multiple
Yeah.
sections.
Yeah.
And you ask somebody, okay, you are doing AR, what you know in finance. I was interviewing somebody from a large company when in my
Hmm.
earlier organization, when I was with a smaller company, and we were looking
Hmm.
for a CA. It was a three people department.
Hmm.
And we
Hmm.
wanted
Hmm.
somebody who can handle the entire ARAP.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this guy said, in AR also, in AR only, I was doing only one kind of AR, or I was doing only one kind of AP. I was making only telecom payments. And when you say
Hmm.
only telecom payments, the smaller company disconnects कि
Hmm.
अरे ये तो इसको तो मालूम ही नहीं है.
Hmm.
So
Right.
when you move from a larger company to a smaller company, then the breadth of experience you get. So
Yeah.
plan your moves in such a manner that you
Hmm.
get breadth of the experience in a function, and that way
Hmm.
changing functions is another opportunity. Now, uh, telling industry that you should create more options, we can tell industry, but the
Whether it will
reality
happen or
is
not
going
is,
to change from
yeah,
tomorrow, maybe not.
maybe not. True. Very true. Um, we have a comment from Sahil. I've always said this: Harjeet has an uncanny ability to see what many don't and simplify it for people at large. Example, negotiation software. So thank you, Sahil. We have a comment on LinkedIn from Anil. He says, congratulations, Sarjeet sir, on patent filing, an eye opener for non tech folks. And a question now from, I think this is from Ipshita, where she says, earlier HR was viewed as industry agnostic, but in the recent past, it seems a number of organizations have preference to same industry only. In your opinion, is this the need of the hour or a myopic view of HR talent?
So again, look, it varies from company to company.
Yeah.
To me, HR is industry agnostic. Uh, if you have worked in a particular industry,
Mm,
in my career, I have moved from automotive to manufacturing to pharma. From
mm,
pharma, I went to retail and then to healthcare IT, then ITES, then telecom, then digital.
mm,
So
mm,
I've got a range of, and this was something which I planned
mm,
that I would want to. I made a conscious effort uh, in figuring out what are the kind of companies I want to get into.
mm, mm,
Of course, if you know the domain, uh, like if you are moving from one pharma company to another pharma company, it is an easier shift. One is you are coming with tacit knowledge of the industry and people in the industry, so you become an asset in
yeah.
terms of that you have some domain knowledge which can help
Yeah.
you. Uh, in my initial days, as I was groomed in Tatas, they were into 7 different industry sectors, and I always aspired to see that किसी दिन Tata Sons में I would want to be there, and
Yeah.
if I want to be in Tata Sons, then I should have exposure of these 7 industry sectors.
Mm,
And they gave me an opportunity also. They used to conduct a program called Tata Gurukul.
mm,
Um, and Mr. Bimal Rath, in fact, he
mm,
is another
mm,
name who you can call on your show.
mm,
He
mm,
was one person who actually helped HR people to go industry agnostic at that point in
mm,
time within Tata's. And what he was working with Tata Sons, and he was trying to enable that a person from say Tata Motors, which is an
mm,
automotive, can they get
mm,
into hotels, and
mm,
how hotel HR, which is a service HR, is different from the say manufacturing or automotive HR,
mm,
and how Tata Power is different and how VSNL is different. And
mm.
that was the first time I was able to appreciate the difference between the HR function in all these different industries.
You're
And
right.
when I made my first move, I was very conscious that I don't want to go to another automobile company, because there were only two
Mm,
automobile companies, or maybe three automobile companies where you can
sure.
actually make a move. So instead of going to an Eicher or Ashok Leyland,
Mm,
uh, I said I will go to something which is different.
mm,
And uh, I got an opportunity in Nicholas Piramal. I chose Nicholas Piramal over Eicher and Ashok Leyland.
mm,
So this is about choice also. Look, getting job in the same industry is much easier
mm.
because people will prefer you. But how
True.
you are taking your bets and how you are making choice is on you. It is slightly difficult, but it is not a total no. Uh,
Mm,
uh, as far as functions are concerned, say marketing or HR, uh, finance, they try to bring people from other industries to learn best practices of other industries, and that is also a conscious choice of the companies. And I have seen
Hmm.
many cases where they systematically do it.
Hmm. Sure. Sure. Um, Harjeet, one question that keeps coming quite a lot in um, general conversations these days is the advent of AI and
Hmm.
how AI is literally changing the landscape of jobs. And
Hmm.
would we lose our jobs is always the question that a lot of people have in their hearts, minds, or whatever they may have. Um, One, what do you see as the future in terms of general jobs? And any specific advice that you have for people in general on how they should embrace this change?
But frankly speaking, it is not the AI because of people will lose the jobs.
Hmm, hmm,
Uh, and means it is wrong to say that people will lose the jobs.
hmm,
Nobody loses a job
hmm,
uh, in that sense. Jobs shape shift
hmm,
after a
hmm.
technology comes. So whenever a
Hmm.
technology comes, uh, the business process changes, the
Correct.
competition in the market changes. And when the business processes change, look, when technology came, before that, hotel industry was hotel industry. When technology
Hmm,
came, it became Airbnb.
hmm, hmm.
The consumer behavior changed. How assets are to be put in your balance sheet, that changed.
True.
So, did technology change it? No, it was somebody in the business who was sitting there. He said,
Hmm,
now let me make the shift.
hmm,
Or the way Uber did, they
hmm,
leveraged the same technology
hmm,
and they said, now cars are going to run like this.
hmm,
So the person who is working in a travel agency
hmm.
might say, my job is going to go away. Frankly
True.
speaking, earlier what used to happen was travel agency used to buy cars
Hmm.
and they used to
Fleet.
hire drivers.
Hmm,
Now the job has been democratized. Now you have to buy your own car by taking a loan.
hmm,
That method has been created. So you can buy one car if you can afford. If you can afford, you can buy 10 cars.
hmm,
The same agency guy can now buy 10 cars and still
hmm,
employ drivers and run it through Uber.
hmm,
Or if the person has a connection with company, then the person can put those vehicles with the company also and make higher margins.
hmm,
The industry has shifted, technology has shifted, the shape of the job has shifted.
hmm.
More and more jobs will get democratized
Hmm.
with advent of technology. Jobs
Correct.
are not going to go away. They are going to empower people, and the other people who are right now consolidating the jobs,
Yeah.
that managerial role, that
Hmm,
is something which is going to get diluted.
hmm,
How you take this is totally in your hands.
hmm,
Like when people say, okay, what will happen to HR? Now,
hmm,
if you see, Uber app has come.
hmm,
You talk about recruitment.
hmm,
So, how do Uber does recruitment? They have recruiters for hiring drivers.
hmm.
Driver
Through the
goes
app. Hmm,
through the app,
hmm,
registers, submits driving license, and
hmm.
can drive Uber. This is what the process is. Where is the recruiter
Correct.
in between? This is
Yeah.
humanless hiring
Simplified.
which is happening.
True.
So, this humanless hiring can actually happen in all the other processes, in all the other
Hmm,
companies
hmm,
also.
hmm,
If not
hmm,
now, maybe in next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, other companies will
hmm,
follow this, would want to follow this.
hmm,
Right
hmm,
now, for driving job, you have a government license. For other jobs, you don't have licenses. If
License.
a education policy comes that for HR job there is going to be a license, you can upload a license and you're going to be employed as a HR guy. So then you need anyone in between to interview the person. For a
True.
loader job, our prime minister said, for that kind of a job, do you need interview process or a test
Mm.
or a assessment?
Mm.
Why are you doing that? It is going to take us on that path.
Mm.
That is how it is
Mm.
going to affect. Now you will say, okay, what will happen to recruiter's job?
Mm.
Nothing is happening to recruiter's job. It is going to shape shift. It is going to
Correct.
shape shift in terms of right now you are doing sales.
Mm.
How will people come to your app? What will attract them to your app and they would want to work with you, not with Swiggy?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
How will you create value
Mm.
proposition of your job in such a manner that instead of going to Swiggy's app, people will come to your app and say, I want to work with you?
Mm.
So the job of HR is going to be shifting from sales, where I am calling each and every person and saying, Aja, Aja, join kar le. You are going to
Mm.
say, I'm creating value proposition. And lot of HR leaders have been talking about this for quite some time. Almost for 10
True.
years, I'm hearing this, that operations is going to get transformed into strategy. Thing is, people were
Mm.
not able to explain how.
Mm.
And
Mm.
as the time passed by, now we are able to articulate how.
True.
That's how I think AI is going to affect. Uh,
Mm.
it is going to create more jobs
Mm.
rather than taking away the jobs.
Mm.
Most of the jobs we see in the current shape and form, the shape and
Mm.
form of the jobs will change.
Mm.
Uh, Look in HR, incentive compensation design is going to be
Mm.
there,
Mm.
and it
Mm.
is going to be there is like much fierce job.
True.
Uh, you talk about learning as a function, it will transform into need creation, content
Mm.
creation.
Mm.
So jobs are going to shift in the shape. If we say that learning delivery is going to be a job,
Mm.
you can record the learning delivery and think of how you can create a better video which can engage more people.
True.
Uh, that's how the job is going to change.
True. True. Wonderful. I'm going to take one more question from the audience, and then I think, in the interest of time, I'm going to shift to the next section of the podcast. One question which Vikas has is, where does your personal branding, LinkedIn, books, etc., fit in your career trajectory? And if I can add one additional question from my side, is also if you can share importance of personal brand in today's life for people at large.
Look, an incident happened in my life. I
Yeah.
was taken to one training by my CHRO
Mm.
long back, some 15 years back.
Mm.
And there they posed a question. They said, what are you without your company name?
Wow. Mm.
You are nothing more than your designation. And that hit
Mm.
me really hard, that I don't want to be just a designation of a company.
Mm.
I want to be something more than that. So it is
Mm.
not about personal branding. It is
Mm.
about maintaining my own individuality. I want to
Mm.
work for a company. I am very happy working for a company and contributing in a meaningful way.
Right.
I respect that. I cherish that. But at the same time, I want to have my own identity, which is as an author, which is as an speaker, which is as an influencer, as an inventor. So, uh, I'm also trying to paint. I try to do photography. I try to do a number of other things just to see. And once I started doing that, that was the starting point.
Hmm.
Once I started doing that, I realized uh, that it helps me explore myself more. That I am a multi-dimensional personality, and have I explored myself well? So
Right.
more than personal branding, look, mm, these were childhood dreams. A lot of my childhood dreams were that I want to be uh, on that screen, reading a poetry, the way होली पे कवि सम्मेलन आते थे. I used to
Uh,
say कि मेरे को वहाँ होना है. तो आप बचपन में you start aspiring, and the kind of I wanted to study physics in my life because I wanted to be a Nobel laureate. कि मेरे को
wow.
नोबेल प्राइज मिलेगा एंड मैं फिजिक्स पढ़ूंगा. जेई का एग्जाम आई विल क्वालिफाई. आई विल गो टू आईआईटी कानपुर. आई विल टेक एमएससी फिजिक्स. इट स्टॉप्स एट 15 रैंक. And then from there, that is what my career trajectory is going to be. It did not happen.
Did not happen.
So I could not qualify. Means अभी जो कुछ भी हुआ, so I was sick and was not ready to drop another year.
Hmm.
Rank was like 2250 rather than 15.
Wow.
Decided कि बस अच्छा ठीक है, ये नहीं होने वाला है.
Uh,
तो I said ठीक है, ये नहीं होने वाला है, कुछ और करते हैं. So I did not stop at that point कि नहीं मेरे को यही करना
sure.
है. Now life comes back. uh,
And the
I
global
will
laureate
leave it here.
happens.
हाँ, global laureate happens. Like these are childhood dreams, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what is more important is as you move ahead in your career, those things become kind of meaningless,
Hmm.
so to say. You feel happy about it कि हाँ एक childhood का dream पूरा हो गया.
Hmm.
But now it is more about exploring oneself and finding
Sure.
what else I can do and where all I can derive happiness from, how I can add more value, uh, how I can take the society forward or the entire humanity forward. Those are the thoughts which start coming to your mind.
Sure. Sure. Great. Devashish, Rushabh, and Sudipto, I'm sorry, in the interest of time, may not be able to take the questions in, but I'm sure we will have Harjeet maybe take a look at them later and give you a response as and when he gets some time. I'll quickly move into the rapid fire question.
Oh,
Um, Apart from the books that you have authored yourself, which book has profoundly influenced your career?
and look, career wise, it was Maverick by
Hmm.
Ricardo Semler.
Hmm.
That was the book which influenced me a lot in my career. That
Hmm.
you start thinking out of the box.
Hmm.
Don't go by the written rules, and
Hmm.
try to find different solutions in life.
Hmm.
So Ricardo Semler, Semco, the story of Semco.
Yeah. Our friends Harini and Milind Vaidya would be happy when they hear this
Mm.
because they run the Semco Institute today.
Okay.
Wonderful. Uh, Second question is, who are the real Raj and Jay in your life?
And look, they keep changing. So they are people around me, but every day Raj is a different person and Jay is also a different person.
Wonderful. No, those, I mean,
Mm.
that's the knack that I think you have beautifully brought into your storytelling of bringing real life people and giving them fictional character names. So thank you for doing that. Those are very entertaining and really insightful as well as gives us meaningful lessons for us to reflect upon. The next question is, if you could go back in time what advice would you give to the 20-year yourself?
Like, frankly speaking, I won't give any advice to my 20-year-old self. I think I was better when I was 20-year-old,
Wow.
and I is- I keep taking advice from my 20-year-old self
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, we क्या करना चाहिए?
now to कि अभी कैसे अप्रोच करना चाहिए, because
Hmm.
the way I think right now and the way I used to think boundaryless at that point in time,
Hmm.
uh, वो करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है.
Right. Right. Sure. The next question is, which technology trend are you most excited about the future of work?
Yeah, how business is going to leverage technology, that is what I am most excited about. There are n number of pieces of technology which are out there, but what
Right.
will click to business and what is going to change life of people, that is what I am looking forward to.
Wonderful. And the last question for you is, what is your favorite Netflix binge watch series?
So it is not on Netflix, it is the
Okay.
Pancha which is on Prime. So
Okay.
watch Panchayat 3. So that is something which I have to do this weekend.
Wonderful. Um, with that, thank you very much, Harjeet, for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Do you want to share any last parting thoughts with the audience that has come in? Um, very active audience today, so thank you everyone to join. But any parting thoughts that you have?
No, live life king size. It's your life. So, and thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I hope whatever you were expecting, we were able to achieve that.
Absolutely. I'm sure audience is going to come back with a really good feedback about this. Thank you so much, Harjeet, really, for joining us. And thank you each and every one for joining today's session. We hope the insights that we heard and the stories, of course, from Harjeet inspire you to view your own career paths through a lens of innovation, creativity, and possibilities, and that await each of your career shifts. Remember, every career journey is very unique, and it's inventive steps that we take and the empathy we cultivate that truly define our success. We will get another guest next week with another story, which is going to be exciting one. But till then, keep striving, keep innovating, and don't forget to join us in the next episode, where we'll continue to explore inspiring career transformations. Until then, keep shifting forward. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you all joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.